Okay, welcome to BR Words, BR Performance Studios' new podcast. At BR Performance Studios, we truly believe that sport and fitness should be athlete-centered. That's why we've decided to expand our field of view to commit to all our athletes who are eager to learn more. So everything you guys learn here will be based on knowledge. If you have a question, please ask. If we don't have the answer, then we will make sure we do our research and come back to you with the most accurate information. This is our new podcast, BR Words. I am Coach Melina and I will be your host today. Right, so welcome to our podcast, everyone. As I said, we're truly committed to knowledge here. But first of all, as you will have seen in our previous episodes, we wanted to start with a series of episodes to meet all our coaches. So far, you've had a chance to meet myself, our head coach, Coach Joao, and last week we spoke with Coach Alessio. Today, we're going to speak to Coach Tommaso. Welcome to the show.
Hello, guys.
Our very own Top Gun instructor. I'll try not to make too many jokes about that in that. So yeah, in this show today, we're going to get to know Coach Tommaso. He's fighter pilot instructor with the Air Force here, who got involved into triathlon about 20 years ago, roughly.
Yeah, the start was very slow, but very entertaining, because some of the instructors, when I was in America for pilot training, they asked me to join for this competition, which was in Fort Worth, and it was a kind of a sprint with a different formula, with a longer bike around the lake. But we were not swimming in the lake, so we were swimming in the pool with the snake start.
Why not in the lake? The crocodile?
Well, actually, Texas at that time was a little bit rough for lakes, so they were avoiding a lot. And so you were just giving the time, and then you were expecting to swim, and I haven't been swimming for a while, so I just gave very conservative time. So the pool was carnage. But then the bicycle, I got a road bike from a friend, because at that time I was just doing mountain biking. And I remember the last part of the run, those 5Ks were like it felt like marathon, but it was fun. It was fun, seeing the vibes. The finish line was inside this park and full of people and everything. I was like, oh, this is something I want to do. And then I waited 20 years.
20 years after that.
Then I waited 20 years to do another one.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Okay. Just before we focus on your triathlon journey, which sounds that it started early 20s, obviously the main reason for the episode is to get to know a little bit more about you. Before we come to today, I'd like to talk a little bit more about your younger days and whether you were involved in sport as a young kid, or seriously or recreationally.
I come from a small town in Tuscany, so kids go outside and play in the street.
Very refreshing.
Countryside, a little bit of playing tennis, just pulling a rope in a street, then when the cars are coming, you just stop everything. But my family doesn't have a background of sports. And sports in terms of structured activities or competition and stuff like this, they've never done it. So I've been playing in the playground until I was 5, 6. And then that was the time that my mom decided, okay, this kid needs to know how to swim, just in case. So I did one of those school courses where you start.
Tuscany, sorry to sound a bit, Tuscany is landlocked, or does Tuscany have a coast?
I live in the countryside, which is like 45 minutes from the sea.
Okay, so you're a distance.
We would go to the sea during the summer for 1 month, go to Sardinia and everything, but I could not swim.
Okay.
So she was concerned, okay, 5, 6 is a good age, there were these school courses and everything. So I joined this one, and until we were pushing the walls with kicking, it was all good. You know, I like this, I can do that. Then we started diving, and I couldn't find the wall on the way back, so I tasted a lot of chlorine that time.
Okay.
I was like, I hate this one.
Fair enough.
Yeah, first 2 weeks, so there was a little bit of drama, obviously, as a young kid, getting to know more people, more kids from different schools and everything. So you don't know, you don't have your own routine anymore anyway. And then after that, I picked up a little bit with the swimming. So it took like 2-3 years to start the competitions.
Okay.
You know, and, I was kind of enjoying it. You know, 3-4 times a week. It was pretty demanding.
So you would have been about 7 or 8?
Yeah, probably pushing to 10 years old. This is the moment that with the team we were going and doing competition in Florence, going to Greece. You know, we were traveling a lot during the weekend. And
it's kind of a big deal for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, because the coaches they were very. So we had the guy. Say hello to him, Ulrico Hoffman. He had many Italian champions, and he was very strict. This guy would push us a lot, like physically, like punishment, physical punishment.
Right. Okay.
So you know, a session in the pool would become easily a session of crunches and push-ups.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, we were pretty strong, and he was pushing us a lot. I wasn't mature yet as a kid, you know, like I wasn't into teenager yet, so it was much more as a kid. And the guys that were with me, they were like, you know, stronger and taller. So I was, you know, okay, you don't do the sprint stuff, just do the, you know,
your diesel engine.
do the 200 front crawl. I was like, no.
Too long.
Yeah, backstroke was something I couldn't do. I mean, like, I enjoyed it for recovery, but that was just survival. And so we were doing a lot of these meetings and stuff. And but the strength work, the strength work and the preparation before the season was the great part. You know, we would go run outside. You know, you didn't expect that you were running outside, so you were wearing your jeans or pants. You know, let's go run 10K.
So your favorite part of swim training was the dry land stuff?
Yes, that one was so social and
yeah, I guess you can't really chat much when you're in the pool.
No, I remember there was this guy in the pool, Giacomino, little James. We were always chatting, and Ulrico Hoffman didn't like it, you know, especially at the send-offs, like we had short send-offs. It was like, you two out, and chain, weights, squats.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this was like, and some of the parents were complaining, obviously, but he was getting champions.
So he was the really good. As a kid, I guess, obviously with the benefit of hindsight now, that was your first coach, your first experience of coaching?
Yeah, so before there was that, you know, the courses coach, very generic, but then he was the guy a little bit more into the specific one.
How did you respond to that style of coaching?
For me, I'm the kind of guy that endures, you know, even if people like to complain. I was like living in the moment and just get on with it, you know, you're gonna get over. And but then when I turned 12, I had a appendicectomy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was a life changer because at the point, you know, took 1 month off in the moment that I was starting.
Was that like an emergency one? Where it just kind of
was not an emergency, but it was a hard one because it was a long, not very long, but not a normal one, let's say. So it took me like a month to get back into the water. And I didn't have anything, you know, like no energy.
Your fitness would have gone completely,
And so even if he was pushing a lot, I was like, dude, I don't have it, you know, like I should have started from scratch. And I felt so frustrated that then at the point, I continued for a while.
Okay.
But I wasn't happy, you know. Like if you don't feel energy, you compare yourself with the others in the lane. It's like, oh my god, this is terrible. And then at a certain point, the other game changer was that you know, the physical education at school. I was super strong. Like one of the tests was doing like 20 push-ups, and I could do 50, no problem. Or stomach, I could do like so many. And the coach there was like, oh, very nice. And then it came to running, and I looked like I couldn't run, like probably I had a little bit of flat foot and everything. So they're like, no, swim is not good for you. You need to do something where you run. Okay, so I started basketball, and in my family we are not very tall.
Right.
So my career it was like.
Well, no, if you're the playmaker role.
But in a team where everybody was short like me, it was like.
Right.
Okay, you just started. So anyway, that helped a lot from a running point of view. It was like basketball and tennis at the same time. A little bit of both.
So they're kind of similar sports in that they're intermittent. You've got lots of side movements. It's not all forward. Obviously, very different to triathlon. What did you and which one? I guess if you had to pick, basketball or tennis, did you have to pick actually?
I had to pick tennis because basketball, as I said, was like one of those school classes. Okay. So there was no like a future, a long-term plan for this.
All right.
So I did it just much more to recover from my situation of not being a good runner.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, when I was playing football with the kids on the street, I was always the goalkeeper. So very brave, but don't give him the ball. Like with the hands is fine, but with the feet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I kept swimming. I kept always swimming when we were going on holidays or when I had the chance. Something that I always kept, with this minimum.
Yeah.
Obviously, the timings that I was making at that time, they're not the times that I'm making now. But for me, if you go swim, then I can fix things myself if somebody is telling me, because the structure that we did and the technique and everything was pretty. Well done at that time. It's just that the practice through the years was not like continuous.
Did for tennis? Did you have a coach?
Yeah.
What was that coach like?
So this guy.
Be nice.
No, this guy here is the coach that you have to love. So he was already in the 70s. Master Conti.
Okay.
So he was in the 1920s, 1950s, he was Italian champion. Okay. So his style was like, like dancing. So it was like, you hear the music now, because the tennis courts, they were near this thermal area, and there were always concerts in afternoon, in summer.
Oh,
so you would hear the music, you hear this, and he would start dancing. And I was like, so I've been coached by him, and it was like,
So very different to Ulrich.
No. Well, I mean, he would shout at us. He would come to watch a game and then leave. If he would do that, okay, enough, and he would leave. And I was like, okay, what is my coach?
Okay.
That was the first coach that gave me the rudiments of everything. The basic of.
Conti did not.
Conti.
Okay. Fair enough.
Ulrich was winning. And then after that, I started with another coach. A Brazilian coach, and I was training a lot with him, and there was also a friend there. Say hello, Federica, who was I was her sparring partner, because she was already qualified as like almost professional.
Okay.
So a little bit the levels of between men and women. You can cope with a stronger woman. And so we were training a lot together with this coach Ahmed. It was Brazilian, but his name was Ahmed. And
quite telling for your later life.
Yeah. And we were having a lot of fun. We were doing tournaments. So until 16 years old, I got very close to get this qualification and everything, but I had like temper issues, like anger issues. Let's say.
Oh, you had a McEnroe.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was breaking rackets. And my father said, okay, last tournament where I quit, was like, this is the last racket you have. So after this, once you work and you earn your money, you can play tennis again.
So you broke the racket, and
yes,
that was it.
That was it. And I went a little bit more into the free sports, like basketball.
Okay.
But there was at a point there with one of the PE coaches from the school, from the high school. We started doing a lot of athletics.
Okay.
And this guy was.
So you're about 16 now.
Yeah, I started at 14. So I was playing tennis.
Yeah.
All the let's say the pre-season preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing by myself with this coach because we were training for campestre course like 1500 meters or 5 kilometers in countryside and stuff like this, And this guy was Italian champion on the 200s for a while.
Wow.
So it was on 800, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Professor Gelli, and it was fun going with him because we would wake up, he would pick us up and go to races in little villages.
Oh wow!
And you would get the podium, like we were smashing it at that time. That kind of races, they're not for everybody. It's rough. Like there are no signs, or there are climbs, or it's like you need to go from this village to that one and then come back. Okay. So you would go and come back and then get your prize, which was...
What sort of distance is it?
It was random. I remember once that we did a 7K and the start was like 20% climb like this.
So were they road races?
Road race, dirt, not really trail. And a lot of people were going to these races, like hundreds. And I was like... So getting the podium there, and then the prize was a bottle of grapes and some pasta,
Sorted. There you go then.
I would come home and say, look, did you go shopping or did you go racing?
Okay,
it was
cool.
good. It was good. Yeah.
So that's quite a difference in in sports that you've done.
Yeah. I mean, like the running, especially endurance running, not the speed, has always been there. Because then when I joined the Air Force, there was something that I needed for all the other sports.
You needed the fitness for that?
Yeah, the fitness,
Okay, cool. Okay, we will take a short break, and then when we'll come back, we'll talk about your fighter pilot training and how that went.
In order to take you to the next level, we have to know two basic metrics, which is where you are now, your base level, and where you are going, your final goal. For this reason, we create a system called BR stages. The BR stages consist in 4 levels. Number 1, fundamentals. Number 2, skills. Number 3, performance. And finally, specialization.
Right, welcome back to the podcast. It's Coach Melina today talking to Coach Tommaso about his background in sport. We spoke earlier on about how what he did as a young child. He's another swimmer, so far that's 4 out of 4 coaches at BR that started as swimming, which is great. Kind of developed into basketball, tennis, and then ultimately you did I guess endurance running, long distance running, and then roughly that was about the point that you finished school. So you would have been about 18.
Yeah, 18 years old. That's when I finished the high school from my hometown village, and I joined the Air Force Academy.
Obviously we haven't really touched upon that, but why that?
So since I was a kid, I've been drawing airplanes. Like I have drawings of airplanes, and me protecting Italy and my home with the airplanes and shooting bad people that were coming. So it was something like I had in my mind for a long time. Okay. And I was coming from a small village in Italy, so you hear stories. You if you're living in a big city like Rome, Milan, and Naples, or you probably hear about people that been in the Air Force. Oh, that guy was a general. Oh, that guy was a colonel, stuff like this. But for me, it was just brand new. I knew a guy that his brother was there, and I had to meet him once, and we just briefly chat. How is it? Yeah, it's good. That's it. That was the maximum of information that I could gather. So I started the whole process by going to Naples, doing the medical exams, and then going back to Naples, doing the Italian, like work, like script, and then went back for mathematics.
Okay.
So it took me like many trips to Naples. Those were the first times I was taking the train.
Is that where the Air Force is?
Yeah. So the Air Force Academy is in Pozzuoli, which is a small town near Naples. I just turn around, you can see the volcano there of Naples.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. And and the academy has these big windows towards the sea. So if you get a little bit depressed because you're far from home, you have these sunsets, and you stay there for a long time.
This is very different from landlocked Tuscany, then.
Yeah. The scenario and the people. You all of a sudden from the village, from the province, you come and you're talking to guys that coming from Rome. They eat you. So
how was that? I mean, that's a major transition in your life. You left home. How was that, and how was the learning environment there?
So it was tough because sometimes you didn't. You were not feeling that you were capitalizing the time that you were studying, or you were preparing stuff, or you were doing the marching or the sport and everything. Because the day you were there 24/7, for a long time. So for the first 2 months you cannot go out. You're just there. Now we did a little bit of pilot training as soon as I joined, which was a screening, which was good because then at least you start seeing what you want to do.
Yeah.
Then you go back to Naples, and that's it until Christmas time. You're there. And there is a lot of marching in the rain, all these kind of things. I mean, nothing brutal. It's not like SAS course. It's not like survival course. But still, you are 18, first time you're coming out of family protective environment. All of a sudden, you find. So sport was very important because we were doing sports like 3 to 4 times a week.
And was that because? I don't know, I guess it was like a little bit of an escape or filling your time, or is it a case, was it encouraged from a fitness point?
No. So it's not like university, you pick stuff.
Yeah.
They give you timings, and then maybe when you go there, you show your skills, and it's like...
And they'll put you wherever.
Yeah, so I was playing a little bit of basketball there. Tennis for the first 2 years was not allowed. Only the officers could do it, so at the beginning we were not playing. I mean, at my time, then it changed through the years.
They didn't want you to break rackets.
I don't know, especially for me. But so I was playing basketball. I was running.
Okay.
We had the pool, but I think they were training only for short distance swims because then we had competitions with the other academies like Air Force, Army, and Navy.
Yeah.
So we could have these competitions, but the challenges were only on short distances, nothing.
Did you guys do any open water swimming or?
No, and we had the sea there.
We
were doing this once I did the scuba diving course. Once I did the scuba diving course, that was.
Was that part of?
No. Privately, after 2 years, you could go out and enjoy a little bit life in Naples. So we joined this scuba diving course, and the coaches there, they had us doing this license PADI, which is like 30 hours of pool, doing a lot of swimming. So there was like a lot of skills that they got back to me. I can do this, and then when you scuba diving, you don't have to, be performing too much in terms of speed or endurance, but at least you need to have the balance. So that was the time that it came back. Plus every year we had this Olympic games between the courses of academy.
Okay.
And my course got always last.
Well, that's not good.
I couldn't do anything about it, but so we had climbing the rope.
Okay.
Then we had the 1500 meters.
Running,
and then we had the 80 meters sprinting, running, and then we had the gun, shooting, and then we had I think 50 meters sprint plus the relay, which was like a 20 people relay. It was madness because people were like, I don't know.
That sounds like a lot of fun, to be fair.
I don't know how they were counting laps because sometimes the strongest guy, they were like
Do it again.
So
okay.
So anyway, but that was the fun part of these Ludi Olympic Games. So we were preparing always for this and for this national competition with the other academies, and sometimes with the international academies. We went to Spain, we went to France.
Oh, wow.
So now the sport was always a big chunk of the activities.
And that's because you guys have to be. The fitness is a big requirement for what you guys do.
I mean, like for a pilot and a navigator at that time, there was a kind of a minimum requirement, especially for body mass and everything. So they were.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that was good.
The Air Force was pretty good for you for sports then.
Yeah, I mean, like it was scheduling. You had to do it. You were doing it.
Okay.
The funny part was the gear that they were giving us, especially at the beginning. We would run in wool jerseys and then wool socks with Superga shoes. Superga is like made of rope shoe. Like,
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
1950s
So
shoe.
Very good for you.
Yeah, so we were looking like, Second World War regime pictures. If they were black and white, it would have been like 50 years before. And people were getting like bloody rash everywhere from these materials. Running the 1500 meters, it was like a bath of blood for everybody. Yeah.
Well, it's good, tough training though, I guess.
Yeah, that was very tough.
I mean, I guess there's the physical aspect of it, but from a mental point of view, especially you guys are quite young, you've left home, and to have to do all this stuff in that way.
Yeah.
How did you cope with all that? Did you enjoy anything, or?
I thought maybe it's my thing, my nature to be enduring. Like okay, it's gonna finish sooner or later. I don't get to be motivated to finish something too much. I find the resources in myself, but that's always been my thing.
So you're kind of able to, like, if you were at really tough days, I guess, is it a case of you just kind of switch off because it's going to finish at some point, or how do you dealt with at the time those kind of times?
At that time you don't see if they tell you okay, in 15 days you're gonna go home, you don't feel that one as a motivation. You just need to count the seconds.
Yeah.
So
if the goal is too far away,
you cannot see it. So you need to find some other things. So being with a lot of guys the same age was good because we had the same feeling. And seeing maybe some other that were weaker and like feeling that I'm not gonna make it, you were like, well, I can make it. Okay. So it was giving you a little bit more strength. Okay. If you were seeing the guys that were like, nothing is gonna stop me from finishing this one, you were like, okay, this guy is inspiring me as well.
Okay.
Because in the end, the result that you will get in the academy will push you to a better assignment, let's say. So if you were aiming to become a fighter pilot much more than another airplane, then this one will add up. So that was the goal,
So your whatever your assignment is going to be is dependent on what were the criteria. So if
so there would be like military grades. There would be the subject that we were studying, because at the time we were studying like engineering and aeronautical engineering. Okay. So all these grades would add up, plus the flying part. But the flying part was not the only one. Okay. It would count a lot. So. And
your fitness came into it as well?
Fitness would help a lot. Because if you would get like a lower fitness grade, you would get a lower military grade as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was part of being to become an officer once you finish the academy.
Yeah. Okay.
So as an officer, you need to be at 360 degrees complete, and fitness was part of it.
All right. So the fitness, aside from it, you enjoyed it obviously because you did sports as a kid, and it was quite social, but ultimately it had its part to play in your career. Yeah.
Because as soon as I was selected to go to America after the academy for pilot training.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about acceleration, talking about training in Texas, which is very hot in summer and a little bit cooler in winter. So there were a lot of things that made me think I need to keep my fitness, because at the point we would do some tests, but it was not mandatory to do a lot of sport.
Okay.
But I felt together with my friends that were there that we needed to do something. So we were hitting the gym a lot with weights. We were running a lot, and then the mountain bike thing that I've always been doing as a kid, going back and forth or on the hills around my house. That one then picked up in Texas a lot. Like we would go in the bushes full of rattlesnakes with this grass trimmer and literally create single trail to ride with the bicycle in this property. I don't even know whose this was, but we had like kilometers and kilometers of trails.
Yeah.
And so we would train a lot all together, like 3 times a week when we could.
Wow.
And it was fun because we did the national military championship as a team from this academy, flying academy.
Yeah.
And we got, I think,
in
second or third for that.
Oh, wow.
No, it was good. It was good. Mountain biking, I loved it. But as a matter of fact, when I was in Naples, when I became an officer there, me and another guy, we took the mountain bikes in Naples, which is a no-no. I mean, like you wouldn't ride a bicycle in the traffic of Naples.
Oh, okay, fair
So
enough.
we would go, because the academy was on top of this hill, so we get the bicycle, go downhill to Naples, just cruise around, and then climb up, and the cars would just, passing so close to us, and it was like,
Well, you're still alive. You're here today, so that's all right.
I took my motorbike as a driving license in Naples, and I survived. So many things.
There you go.
We're living to survivor.
Okay, let's before we return back to Italy, let's stay with the States. So you did 3.5 years in Naples at the academy, and then you went to the US for like 18 months or so, and that's when your fitness and your sport kind of stepped up. You got involved in mountain biking. And that's someone dragged you into a triathlon.
So we did this. Same instructors that they were doing triathlons. They said, "Oh, why don't you do this sprint triathlon?" Like, okay, let's try.
Were you swimming at that time or just mountain biking?
There was a pool there in on base, and I was swimming every now and then.
Yeah.
But it was just much more like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, nothing special. But when I registered for this race, I was going at the YMCA in Wichita Falls, like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was a 33 meters pool. So when they asked me what is your time for I think it was like 400 meters swim in the pool, I was like, I have no idea. So I gave a number that was really conservative.
Okay.
And during race day, I had to dive, like grab people and pass around because it was too conservative. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. And so how was your first tri experience? You were 23.
Yeah, 23. I think it was an amazing adventure. I mean,
what did you like most about it, or what do you remember?
I remember this pool, this snake thing that people have been talking about. Look, you need to be like.
So
no
you
mercy.
kind of started here and you just did this in the pool?
Yeah, you just do the snake, right? So you go under the rope and then you go under the rope like this.
Oh, they didn't even move the ropes?
No, it was all ropes. Yes.
Wow.
So it was like a disaster because we had a lot of people, like probably 400 people. So that's why they needed the timings. And I remember being in line like this with my Speedo. My Speedo with padding, the ones from the heroes of triathlon.
Please tell me there's photos of this.
Yes,
there
is. Check on my Instagram. There are a few. And I was like, I stayed in the queue forever. And then when it was my turn, they told me, no mercy. You need to hit people in front of you. Just go for it. So I was like passing people, and no one was passing me because I've been too conservative.
Yeah.
Just by pushing on the wall, I was just gaining. So anyway, but I got out of the water. Probably I haven't been in the water for a while. I almost fainted. Whoa! That was the first thing. Okay, let's go easy to the bike.
That's probably all the punching that you did.
Yeah. The bike was pretty straightforward. I think it was 30 kilometers, which is an awkward distance. Yeah. Because we were riding around this lake, and then coming back. Quickly in the run, And the first, so it was a lap. You would go turn around 8 stations and then come back. And I remember the first part I was just sprinting, like I was easy. After I turned around, I felt like sponges in my knees. You know, I was destroyed mentally. I said, I'm not gonna finish this one. You know, nowadays after a few Ironman, like what?
You're
what?
right now. Yeah.
At that time, it felt like, what is this? A marathon? What is this? So I never drank Gatorade before. Maybe when I was playing tennis, but so I got the American one to try.
Full of sugar.
I got the half sip of the cup. Man, started sprinting again. I don't know what it was there, but and then the final bit, it was amazing. So many people, so many.
You like the buzz of the race.
Yeah. The finish line, you know, stayed there in my mind until I was like, okay, I'm gonna sign for something like this. But then I didn't have the opportunity because after the pilot training, I graduated and I was assigned to the almighty F-104 Starfighter airplane.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just Google it.
Okay.
It's an airplane
Fair
that is called the Widowmaker. Okay. So pilots are normally survivors for this. And so I went right away to pilot training in Grosseto, west coast of Italy, north of Rome. And I was running, I was cycling there, but I didn't have time to put bits and pieces together because the training was demanding.
Okay.
Then I was assigned to the East Coast, first base, and also there with the alert duties after 9/11, everything changed, so we were on duty like 24/7. So that at the point we were so busy with lifestyle and with work.
Okay.
Like, and I was telling my friends the other day, we were chatting about this, and I was like, my commander called us on 1 September. He said, "You guys have finished the hours, like the hours at work. Now I don't have extraordinary money to pay you." I said, what can we do? We need to be on duty. So from September to December, we were just piling up hours of holiday that we never did.
Wow, that is still owed to you.
Well, I mean, I'm not in the Air Force anymore, so
okay. All right, we'll take a short 30 seconds break, and then we'll come back with we'll try and bring it back to the present day and what triathlon. What level of triathlon you're involved in now?
When a person is stressed and they're trying to work on healthier habits, and that's what happens to most of us, is we try to work on healthier habits, but we have certain internal stressors that prevent us from developing those good habits. So we get stressed, and then we stop. So my job is to intervene right at the point where they start and where they stop, so they can continue. So I'm giving them the power and the tools to continue to build these healthy habits long term.
Okay, welcome back to our podcast. We're here with Coach Tommaso today, getting to know him a little bit better. So we spoke earlier on about how his training and work as a fighter pilot for the Air Force required a fairly high level of fitness. So you were kind of involved in lots of different types of sports. You competed within the military circuit, if that's the right word. But no real sort of structure as such, or formal coaching or anything like that. So you mentioned that you finished your training in the US. You returned to Italy, where you started work. But unfortunately, work was a little bit too demanding for you to do anything fully structured. So your job as a fighter pilot kept you fit. You did lots of endurance sports. How, if we bring it back a little bit more to the present day, where you did your first triathlon in '97 at the age of 23, when was the next one?
2013. The legendary Masmar Park sprint race.
Okay, so that's almost 16 years break.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a long break still. I had to do sport in general, especially because the first airplane I was flying was not that demanding from a physical point of view.
Okay.
It was much more mental because it was a very difficult airplane. Then in 2013, the Air Force leased F-16s from the Americans.
2003.
Eh?
2013 or
2003.
Yeah.
So that airplane is very demanding for acceleration. So at that point, we had to hit the gym to make sure that our neck didn't break. So we structured some workouts, which was a good blend between anaerobic and aerobic.
Okay.
So all the aerobic was coming from cycling, running, a little bit of swimming, but all the strength was coming into the gym. So at the point we were like much more conscious of the importance of strength and conditioning.
So you would, I guess, was that when you really started to look at what I'm doing in training? There's a purpose for it. So from designing
at
your
the
training.
at the point we were like, okay, let's hit the gym at least 2-3 times a week because you feel the benefit when you do a combat mission with the airplane.
Okay.
And much more in 2007 when I moved to the Eurofighter, which is the missions were demanding mentally because the aircraft is very capable and mission-wise was very difficult, but also it's a combat airplane. So when you have acceleration of 9 point something Gs, then if you are not fit enough or if you're doing just aerobic workouts, then you're gonna pay the price. Okay. So we started blending these things and we were pretty much structured. You would see going together for a run and in the group and then going to the gym every other day.
How did you enjoy this process? Like not I mean the training is one thing, but the designing of the training. You had a goal in mind, and obviously it was we're not talking about your hobby really, it's your job.
So I was not an expert on this. So a couple of guys that I was working with, they were experts because they did some coaching for the gym.
Okay.
So they were structuring, they were explaining, you need to focus on these areas and you need to blend these workouts with aerobic workouts, use it for warm up, and we could see the benefit. Okay. You could see the benefit. You would compare for the guy that was a little bit more family oriented, that wasn't training. When we would go combat, we would come back with a big smile. It was like a little bit depressed because at that point you cannot sustain that kind of acceleration. I mean, airplanes nowadays they're like this. You have this kind of acceleration and hits the body pretty hard. Either you're young or older, it doesn't really matter. It's the training that is gonna help you to cope with the acceleration. So until 2012, when I went to Saudi, that was kind of my routine. Aerobic on the mountain bike, and cycling, a little bit of swimming, and then hitting the gym. Then in 2012, when I was in Saudi, we had the compound, so you don't have too many activities around. I was in Taif, which is pretty remote in Saudi. So we tried to find all the activities that were sport related. And I was like, okay, I got the swimming pool, I got the running and cycling, I can start putting the bits and pieces together. So in 2013, when I came to Dubai, that was the time that I was like, I remember this because I really enjoyed it in 97. I want to do this. And so I started doing so many competitions from the beginning, especially because at the beginning I was without the family for like 2-3 months.
Okay.
So it was a little bit.
There's no time constraints or balance.
But I wasn't training anything structured. Okay. I was just doing the 3 things in the race, So I was much more, seeing magazine and stuff like this.
When did it all start to change? When did it all start to change to become a bit more structured?
So in 2014, I did my first half distance, which was the DIT, where that was my birthday, my 40th birthday.
Nice
and I was like, I destroyed myself, like completely destroyed. Like survived the swim, okay. I think I did like 39 minutes, so it was okay.
It's respectable.
And then on the bike, I had a road bike. I did like 2 hours and 45 minutes. So also that one was honest. And then on the run, it was just the run was
survived.
No, I had all shoes that I felt but they are spongy, they are comfy. In reality, they just killed my Achilles.
Right.
Well, I killed my Achilles. It's not the shoes that are killing Achilles. It was me that I was thinking, oh, well, okay, these shoes are gonna go do a
Yeah.
trip. In reality, I was just destroying myself. I lost nails and everything. So anyway, and I was like, finish line. My family was there, and I was like, yeah, big smile. So what should I do now? So I go home. I said to my wife, how about we go for a holiday in Switzerland next summer?
Which race was this?
And she was like, to do what? There is an Ironman in Switzerland, in Zurich.
Fall.
Yes,
A fall.
2015. I thought, why don't we? Okay, yeah, let's do a holiday there. Dunk, bye, done, registered.
Okay.
So
So
I
so
have-
far you were just swimming, biking, running, and putting it together on
Yes,
the race day. What
yes.
happened now?
So I called my friend that he was a coach. They was coaching my daughter for swimming when I
Okay.
was in my last Air Force assignment, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know how to train somebody online that is living in Dubai. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, like temperatures wise, just give me
Just give me the plan.
give me a rough idea. Okay, do these three bikes, 2 runs." And so I started structuring myself a little bit, a
Okay.
little bit of speed, a little bit. So it was like kind of a plan. The problem is that in May and June we were doing night flying, and it was very hot in June. And I would come home like 1 o'clock in the night.
Zurich race is a July. No,
Yeah, it was July.
race.
So I would come home and like 1 o'clock in the morning, go for a 3 hours run, 2 hours drive, and then come back home, sleep. And then take my daughter to
Dude.
school, and then come back. I was like hallucinated in that period, which was good. I mean, like I was able to put some volume there.
But work-life balance wasn't quite there.
I mean, like I would see my wife probably 20 minutes during the day because I was sleeping or I was going to work. It was a disaster that period. It was so unstructured overall.
Okay.
I felt like it was structured, and I said, you know what, I want to do around 11 hours and 30. That's my target,
Okay.
like this, you know. Like
Floated
Yes.
wind, yeah.
and I said, I need to at least put
Some structure.
15 hours of work, you know,
Okay.
15 hours of training during the week for a few weeks.
Yeah.
That was my idea. So I survived 11 hours and 30 minutes.
Nice one.
Yeah, as
For
planned.
for that race as well.
Yeah. And I came back, it's like, okay, I need to swim. Need to make sure that I can swim a little bit faster because I lost so much. I mean, like, I wasn't feeling the stress of the swim, but I
Okay.
was very slow. I didn't structure properly. I was just doing long swims. You know, when they say never swim the distance that you need,
Yeah.
I was always swimming 4Ks. You know, very slow. So I was pretty good for 4K, but
Okay.
yeah. So I got out. The bike was good. Bike was good because I did less than 6 hours
Okay.
in Zurich, where there
Which
is
it's quite
big mountains.
Yeah.
And then in the run, still I needed more than 4 hours on the marathon.
Okay.
With the Achilles, they were still suffering. Achilles were still suffering from their race.
So they still suffer today, don't they?
They always suffer. They always suffer.
Okay.
So at that point, I said, okay, maybe I need a better structure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I joined the Bauco squad, the American team that they had
Okay.
coaching online. Because of my job, I couldn't really, even if I had some friends that were doing triathlon in Dubai, I couldn't really join the.
You wouldn't be able to train
Yeah,
with
I
them.
was like, I need to do it by myself, so I needed online. So I took the first one that actually was pretty good because we had a pretty good relationship with the coach, Coach Ryan.
You knew. Sorry, did you know the coach already? That's why you went
No,
to them.
no. So I applied on Twitter. They contacted me to be part of the team.
Okay.
So I was like Bauco squad in UAE,
Yeah.
and then they said, "Oh, we have coaching." Oh, okay. So you get a discount with the coaching. You know, it was like a marketing
Okay.
thing that, you know. Then in the end, I still have a pretty good relationship
Okay.
with these guys, and they are they're doing pretty good job actually.
How was you? So that was your first coaching.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
you had coaching obviously as a kid, but how did you find getting a coach? What was the impact? To
No,
your,
so for me, it's pretty simple. I'm paying for it. You
So I
tell
have
me
to
what
do
to
it.
do. I
and
have to
will
do it.
Yeah. Otherwise,
First, I don't ask questions, especially if I don't know. This is my thing. If I don't know, if you ask me something I don't know, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm not gonna say like maybe I think. No, I'm gonna say I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I can research. I can tell you later.
Yeah.
So same was with him. I don't know. You tell me. I trust you. I pay you. Then you are accountable if I do whatever you say.
Yeah.
No.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Fair point.
No.
Yeah.
So at that point, I started learning a lot. Like all the things they have been doing, they were making sense in terms of aerobic zones or VO2 max or FTP. Everything, all the bits and pieces were making sense to me because I've been training already for 2 years, even if it was not structured or if it was without knowledge. Plus, he was recalling some concept that I studied during the academy or before. So everything was making sense for a while. And I was studying, I was researching, and at a certain point, after a few years with Coach Ryan, I was pretty good because, I qualified for the world champion 70.3 for like 3 times in a row with him. So that was I never went because work wouldn't let me go. So I had a bunch of coins there that I never used, and so, but. We were having some discussions about stuff. You need to go slow, you need to go fast. It was pretty strict. So the beauty of that one was that it was analyzing my workouts, was giving me feedback. That it's something that I've learned and that I like to give to my athletes. I learned as an athlete that you need to give feedback, but also as a coach you need to listen to that feedback to tailor.
Yeah.
And then after a while, so we did the challenge rod.
Okay.
With him, and that's when I broke the 10 hours wall.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, this guy knows about it. I've been pretty diligent, I've been pretty diligent, and my wife knows it. She was happy with that. But and then after that, like, okay, you start drifting.
Roth was 17,
2017.
right?
Yes. And then. Beginning 2018, I said, look, Ryan, I want to try it by myself, and I started studying for the Ironman certification and everything. So I had a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more access to information as well with this course, which is, from a database point of view, is giving you a lot.
Yeah.
And I started self-coaching, but it was a little bit more copy-paste for what I'd done before, just pushing a little bit the limits because I was starting to be aware of my limits a little bit better.
Okay.
So in terms of zones and stuff, but I think if I can go like 2 bits higher, I can hold it.
Okay.
And that was giving me the possibility to improve my performance. Okay. So that was a new step in my sport
from
career.
Going from coach to self-coach, what was the biggest challenge for you?
And now I was accountable just myself. Yeah. So for me, if I do a race, if I'm already doing Dubai, I cannot go back to Dubai and do more time. And be slower. I need to improve. So at that point, for me, going to race Dubai 70.3 or Bahrain, I had to go faster.
Okay.
And that's what I did, and I was happy with that. But it was just because the basis, the foundation was solid. Aerobic fitness was there. I never took a long break and everything. Yeah. Like in 2017, I think I did 33 races.
Oh wow!
Yeah, between
leading up to Roth.
Yeah, Olympic. That's all period. The Olympic sprint, cycling races, running races. I was like every weekend for the joy of my family. I was gone, which leads me to another topic, which is the family balance. Nowadays, I'm keeping that one a little bit more in consideration. After you reach some results, you know that to reach more, something has to pay. You need to sacrifice something, and probably not. I'm not ready yet to go and. Can I do another Ironman? And the family is gonna be.
Which is fair enough. Which will actually, this will lead us nicely onto the next stage, which is, I guess, the last few years, and you getting a little bit more involved in coaching. Obviously, effectively, your first coaching was yourself. By the sounds of it.
It was myself. Then a few friends. As soon as I got the certification,
So it kind of grew organically from there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back to talk about your coaching.
The BR cycling experience is based on two main pillars: a scientific power-based system and music. The power-based system allows us to measure the performance of each member in the class, and the music and the rhythm work as a trigger to the state of flow.
Welcome back to our BR Words podcast. I'm Coach Melina and I have the pleasure of getting to know Coach Tommaso today. So earlier on in the podcast, we found out what his background was in sport. Obviously his job as a fighter pilot, which has significantly influenced his fitness goals. And we gradually kind of built up to the present day and how you got into triathlon, you did your Ironman, and your first step in coaching was actually being self-coached. So that was about 3 years ago, 4 years ago now. How has triathlon developed for you in the last 4 years in terms of A, you as an athlete, and B, you as a coach, and how do the two kind of level up?
So I've experimented a lot of things on myself, which I've tried also on the athletes. Saying, you know what, I'm an age grouper, which with a complicated life, activities and families and everything. If something can work for me, maybe it can work also for you. It's not an equation. It doesn't work all the time. But at least, it's showing that there is a method that is giving you a performance.
Yeah.
Then you can tweak it a little bit. You can tailor it in order to make sure that the athlete is different from myself. I'm gonna work on these weak areas. So it was very empiric. Then in 2019 I did Ironman Italy, and that's when I knew Joao from a long time. We were like, hey, that kind of things. But then at that point it's like, do you want to do something with BR? I said, well, why not? Okay, so we started structuring much more, and learning from him the way that he has been coaching athletes, and having a method that is independent from the athlete, let's say in creating a structure, and then you tailor it depending on their needs. So at the point, this was the big learning process in the last let's say 2 years, because that's 2 years effectively, and I'm with BR. So a lot of resources, a lot of more exchange with you, with Joao, with Alessio now, with Mohammed. There's been a lot of exchanging of opinions, but also of knowledge about things. So at that point, your plans become a little bit more bulletproof compared to before, because it's the result of objective things. It's not results of subjective. Maybe I think this guy is gonna work.
It's not all anecdotal.
Yeah. So at this point, you have the confidence that this thing is gonna work. Trust the system because it's gonna work. No, it's not gonna work because it worked for me. It's gonna work because there is science behind. There is something that is solid behind. So that's the part of coaching that now I'm focusing much more than an athlete, because I don't have time in this period of my life, because the last race was in 2020 when I did the Ironman Dubai and then Yas Island, and that was it. So I've been training anyway, and never stopped training.
We have the videos of you on mountains in Italy.
Yes. But it's not something that I'm training for something specifically. So in the next few weeks, probably I will be able to decide which there is a race I like to commit or something that I like to commit a little bit more. But at the moment, I don't know. Okay.
And that's because you're at a stage where you just kind of want to, as an athlete, you want a little bit of a break, or is it more other things?
No, it's lifestyle. It's lifestyle. If I'm traveling for work and I'm not able to put the bicycle on the turbo trainer, then it means that I cannot structure. I need to have something that is the fulcrum of everything. And right now I don't have it. In the next few weeks, things should be a little bit clearer,
Okay.
and I can say, okay, this
So
is
the
gonna
whole-
race
yeah.
this race.
So
be
the
ready.
whole, obviously, I mean, we've spoken about this on many podcasts. I think it's come up for all of us
Yeah.
in our conversations. The whole work-life balance really is key,
Yeah.
and there might be a time in your life where you're able to commit.
Yeah.
There might be a time where you're not. But
Yeah.
either which way, we're all kind of keeping our hand in it. Like we're still keeping fit, but maybe not
Yeah.
with the same level of
It's
focus.
an honest reality check.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can say that years back I was not doing that one, and something was paying the bill for it. Family,
Okay.
much more than work. No,
Yeah.
but family was paying the bill for committing for something that was a little bit bigger,
Too much.
and
Yeah.
and the hours that you had to spend for this one, there were too many.
Yeah.
I mean, you will get in the result, but then on the other hand, people around you can suffer a little bit. So
Yeah.
you need to do a reality check every now and then
Okay.
to see if you can commit.
And that's, I guess, so to put that into a coaching perspective, is that is that a conversation you have with your athletes?
Yeah, so the first thing I ask is like, you need to be honest with me, what you can do, what is your time available.
Yeah.
And don't consider just the time, consider also the logistics to go to places.
To get to the
Dubai
pool,
is a metropolis, so you need 30 minutes to go, 30 minutes to come back, and then there is traffic. So if you're saying I can swim on this day, you need to take into account 2 hours and a half, 3 hours
Yeah.
sometimes if it is a long workout. So this is something that people must understand. First thing. Second, give the coach a lead if your life is
gonna
changing.
change,
You know, like if you're telling me the day, oh, can you change this? If I can, yes, but sometimes I cannot. You know,
Yeah.
because I have my things, my duties, my work as well.
Yeah.
So these things, sometimes athletes, they think because of the social media, they think you are like 24/7, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be like this. An athlete must understand that there is the time to contact the coach or to cope with issues by himself, because
Yeah.
then you will learn something that you're going to use it when you race.
Yeah.
If there is a variable that you cannot control, then
You have
on
to
the
deal
race
with
you
it.
will deal with it by yourself, because I
Yeah.
cannot say, oh, by the way, change the tire this way or inflate
Yeah.
with the
There's no phone. There's no phone a friend during
no,
races.
no.
That's for
You
sure.
just need to turn it on. That's it. So that's the thing. And the third thing, I don't make promises of timings. So some people say,
Oh,
oh,
is
can
it?
I do this race?
Okay.
No, I cannot say that one. It depends. You're gonna do your best race for what you've done.
Yeah.
You know, like there is the saying, you do not complain for the race that you didn't have, for the
Yeah.
training that you didn't do. Yeah, exactly that one. You know.
But at the same time, though, even with that into account, you can't control what
Yeah.
race day is going to be
Yeah,
like.
yeah, exactly.
So there
exactly,
could be
yeah.
other
That's
factors
that's,
that-
that's,
yeah,
so
there's other
that's
factors
something
that
that
come into place.
we discuss and everything. That's why you try to put everything in the list of the things that you can control, because you have processed them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what if there is wind? What cadence do I keep? Or what if there is a rough sea? You know, you put it in the list of control, but still, it's a long list, and you don't have control of,
Yeah,
of all the
everything.
things. So,
Yeah.
timing wise, I don't say, okay, this is the time you're gonna do. It depends also on the athlete, obviously, because you need to know an athlete for a while.
Yeah.
And I think like 3 months, nothing, perfect unknown people. You know, but also as a coach, I'm completely unknown for the athlete.
Yeah.
6 months, you start to see the weaknesses, you start to see the strength.
Yeah.
Then after 1 year, 1 year and a half, now this is the moment that you say, you know what? Push on this workout, because this
Yeah.
is crucial. You get this one, and then on race day, you're gonna
Yeah.
thank me.
Yeah. No, the relationship, it takes time to
Yeah,
build it, just
yeah,
like
yeah,
anything
yeah.
else.
It's not like going out for drinks. It's it's something that
Takes a bit
takes
of time.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's time.
Okay, and as I know you're a fighter pilot instructor now, so I guess there's a lot of transferable skills between that and coaching athletes.
Yeah, yeah.
What if you had to describe yourself relatively succinctly about what your coaching style is like, or what you're like as a coach? What would you say?
Well, I mean, like as an instructor, you instruct people and they execute. There is no question at the moment. there is the moment for briefing and debriefing.
Yeah.
But during the instruction and execution, sometimes people, they have to do this, okay, like it is advertised, and then we can talk about it when we are in front of a coffee. You know what I mean? Like this is very important, because if you say, no, but I would like to do RP, I would like to do FTP, it's a structure. I cannot let you do this, you know. So sometimes people are like, no, I don't like this coach. He wants me to do what he was saying. Yes. Yes. Plus, being in the military for a long time, I follow checklist. So for me, it's always like everything I organize through a checklist, step by step, so that I can see the results. You know, like going with the system where you do one thing at a time, and then you wait. You know, pros and cons of everything. But that's my main method.
Okay.
I mean, being an instructor for flying, it was I was mentally prepared to be an instructor also for triathlon. You know, I cannot be a good teacher. Teacher is different. You know, like if I'm trying to teach my daughter, no, that doesn't work. I'm an instructor. I have to say, do this English homework,
and just get on with it.
No, but it doesn't work. You know, she needs a teacher. No, you should do this English homework because no, for me it doesn't work. So I'm a good instructor, but not a good teacher.
Fair enough. Okay, and just to, I guess, just conscious of the time, just to wrap things up. So, I guess if you had to describe yourself in, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 words or in a short sentence. So if someone was to say, who's Coach Tommaso? Obviously we've been speaking for an hour, so please don't ask me to say that one. But yeah, if someone asks who's Coach Tommaso, what would you say?
Oh my God, that's a hard one. You name it.
No.
You name it.
Yeah. What would you? I don't know. What comes? I guess at the moment, from what you're saying, obviously family, work-life balance seems to be more at the forefront for you at the moment. Yeah. So I guess that's part of your identity right now. And then your coaching's coming to the forefront. Athlete's not quite there at the moment. It's taking a bit of a break until you decide what you're doing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And
you said that's it. Let's look. I mean, obviously in BR, I'm looking forward for the new challenges that we have. You know, we have talked a lot about things that we want to do, and so I'm really keen and part of it. For the challenges, for the surprises, for the UAE man or whatever, the Christmas challenge and 10K swims. You know, whatever is coming, I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm good to go. I'm good to go.
What advice would you have for anyone coming, either whether they're new to triathlon or I guess new to BR, coming into our team? What would you say?
So don't be shy. If you're coming to BR, sometimes people are not even knocking at the doors, you know, because they're shy. They see all these guys shining, that they are performing and everything. Don't be shy, because there is no stupid question, first of all, but also because maybe you have inside some strengths that you don't know, and with triathlon they're gonna come out. You know, from mental strength to physical, you know, whatever it is, you're gonna see that, you know, and for me, we are open to listen to any kind of problem. Now, obviously, if it's a personal problem, it's up to the athlete, but you know, open to help any kind of athlete to become an athlete. There is no beginner or elite or no. Whatever you want to do. If you want to do triathlon, okay, you're motivated to start. We're happy to help. We're happy to help.
That's good. Well, thank you very much for your time today. I really enjoyed getting to know you that little bit better. Now I know a little bit more information about you. And I'm happy to hear that we've all started with swimming.
Yes.
That's a bonus. Thank you very much for listening, everybody, and we'll chat to you next week.
Thank you.